Welcome to another episode of Evolution, Nova Scotia's martial arts. I am your host, Dwayne Robicheau. The origins of Kung Fu date back to 5th century China, yet its true origins are shrouded in secrecy and legend. From the days of the ancient Shaolin temples to the modern era, Kung Fu has survived and adapted to change, all the while staying true to its beliefs, customs, traditions, its training, and of course its awesome weapons. We traveled to Truro, Nova Scotia and caught up with Shifu Brenna Urquhart and her Kung Fu students. And they were in fine form as they were preparing for their annual tournament. Tonight on Evolution, here is the Kaju Kempo School of Kung Fu.
Pai Lum was a family martial art that was through Grandmaster Daniel K. Pai. After Grandmaster Daniel K. Pai passed away, he had promoted 6 people to the rank of 7th level black belt. One of those people was Grandmaster Bill Gregory. Now, Grandmaster Bill Gregory, after Grandmaster Pai passed away, no one could decide who should take it over. So all 6 of those people split off to do their own martial art. Grandmaster Bill Gregory had done Kaju Kempo before doing Pai Lum, and so as he became Grandmaster through Grandmaster St. Charles, he became Grandmaster of Kaju Kempo Pai Lum, our branch. So through that, he had a student who we call Lungsher. Lungsher had enough of America. He was in New Hampshire and decided to move up and into Nova Scotia. From there, he went to a tournament one day in Truro, Nova Scotia. And at this tournament was a fellow who we call Shirgung Tobin. He had a martial arts tournament, and he used to have very large martial arts tournaments. But he was a Kempo practitioner who had recently no longer had an instructor. He was looking for an instructor. So Lungsher comes along and says, "I'd like you to meet my Grandmaster. I think you'd like him." So some time passes, and Grandmaster Bill Gregory comes down, and they hit it off immediately. So Grandmaster Bill Gregory says, "I'd like to take you on as my student, but I'll teach you everything I know as long as you promise not to take any of it for granted." And they hit it off, and forever after, we've been learning Kaju Kempo Pai Lum here. So that's the cliff notes of what had happened.
Excellent answer. I've met Shifu Tobin, big man that can really move and an excellent instructor. He has quite a presence about himself, and I'm happy to have met him and his students some years ago, which has led me how I got here to see you guys here today. You're preparing for a big tournament. This is the night before the eve of your annual tournament.
Yes.
You're going to have practitioners from all over. Where are your students coming from for this tournament you're having tomorrow?
We're having students from all over Nova Scotia come to this tomorrow. We're having some from PEI. We have had people come up from the States to compete in this. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it this year, but this is going to be more of a maritime tournament this year.
But it's still a big draw. You're getting people internationally. Kung Fu has really spread itself out through the ages and now is widespread in Canada and the U.S., correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Grandmaster Daniel K. Pai, when he, born and raised in Hawaii, practiced there, but then Pai Lum is a martial art that you had to be a black belt before you began to learn it. So he would go across the country and he would gain students that were black belts that had schools in other areas. So his lineage is everywhere across North America. So you've got Kaju Kempo Pai Lum, but then you'll get other versions of Pai Lum. But it's widespread all across North America, certainly. Not as well known as maybe like a Taekwondo or karate or something, but as widespread, I would say, in North America, from coast to coast.
You've been doing it 20 years now. You've trained many students and so forth. What's some of the things that keep you coming back?
I really enjoy knowing that I'm doing something for people that's going to make a positive difference in their lives. I appreciate that the self-defense that I teach them could get them out of a situation that could in other terms be harmful or fatal, and having that positivity and having the people come back to me and say, you know, I was attacked the other day and I was able to use this, or I had someone jump me the other day and I was able to get out of there, and I know that it's because I've trained in this. Having that kind of an impact on people's lives makes me want to continue doing this.
Excellent. And this is one thing in the world today, it's not getting any safer by when you read the newspaper or see the news. So you have a positive effect on people in the real self-defense. Now, we've talked about this, that you really have a self-defense oriented focus here in your training. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
And you want to expand this now into like women today may be looking for that edge, that extra set of empowerment. Kung Fu, is that the answer?
I think Kung Fu is the answer for anyone looking for self-defense and empowerment, really. Yeah, not just women specifically, but anyone looking for self-defense, really. To say woman or man, it comes down to body type. The 5'2" man is going to have the similar struggles to the 5'2" female. So it's all in what someone's body type can do. But yes, woman or man, either way, self-defense is important for everyone. I've had as many men be attacked and have a positive influence from this
Yes.
as I have had women, certainly.
In Kung Fu, you have the tiger, you have the dragon. What is the representative symbolism of that in the art?
So Tiger is very aggressive. We were known as Tiger Kempo for a very long time. Tiger is a very aggressive martial arts style, where dragon is an amalgamation of all animals, it being a fictional animal. It's got characteristics of tiger, it's got characteristics of crane, but it's also very much everything being in motion at once, I guess is how I would break that down the most.
Kung Fu compared to other martial arts styles, what is it that you say makes it so unique in comparison?
Each martial arts style certainly has its greats and its good takeaways for sure. The thing that drew me to this specifically was the self-defense. This self-defense is aggressive in a different way. You get hit so that when you get hit on the street, it's not a shock. You get the opportunity to be thrown around, but you also get to throw people around back. And it takes it from a very realistic point of view that I appreciate and that I enjoy. And I think that is really the key difference in what makes us unique, for sure. Each person tends to gravitate towards their own weapon. Mine in particular is the sword, but it took me a long time to learn, and I sometimes forget that. It's just having the coordination with the two. It's easy to do a few things here and a few things there, but when you start wrapping them around your head, it starts to get a little bit more complicated, avoiding getting knocked in the back of the head or anything like that. So it is fun once you get started with it. It does just take a lot of time and patience to get the hang of.
This is Brenna Urquhart of Truro Kaja Kempo Pai Lam Kung Fu, and it's been a pleasure to interview you and a pleasure to be here. We're going to be back with more martial arts here on Eastlink Community TV. Stay tuned.
So downward heel with the other leg. Okay. And look, you're already halfway there. Turn, spin back kick. There you go, Ed. There it goes. Yeah. Alrighty, downward heel roundhouse.
Want to do a back for me?
There you go. Hey, Smiley, what you doing way back there, bud? Hey. Downward heel.
So,
Roundhouse. Jeez. Awesome.
jumping.
Nice.
Okay.
High fives. Hi.
Nice. Good job.
Joining me now here on Eastlink Community TV is the Coish family, a family of Kung Fu practitioners, and we're glad to meet all of them. How you doing, young fella?
Good.
And what's your name?
Jackson Coish.
Now, Jackson, how long have you been a Kung Fu practitioner?
5 years.
You feel pretty good about it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of Kung Fu? What do you like the most?
That it helps build up confidence.
Logan, you've been practicing for some years now. How do you feel about Kung Fu in your life?
It's pretty fun.
What's it do for you, Logan? What's the one thing that it touches on when it comes to you in Kung Fu?
It shows me how far I can go with my body, I guess.
Brett's the family patriarch. You've been practicing Kung Fu for many years now. How long you been at it?
I was at it probably about 5 years. I started after Logan.
Was it a family affair, spending quality time with your son? Was that what brought it together?
Yep, I wanted to be able to help him learn his Kung Fu, and I ended up studying it myself. So,
You really like it, at a man of your age. What's it bring for you? What's it bring to you?
It enables me to continue doing things in my life. Keeps me fitness and whatnot and stretching and.
So it's good for the body, good for relaxation. It's good for people of all ages. You attest to that?
I do, yes.
What's your favorite pattern? You got to have one.
7 animal.
7 animal. Well, I'd like to see it sometime. Laura, now you run this gang of tough guys.
Yeah, I more drive them around.
What's it like having a family of Kung Fu practitioners? How do you handle it? Is it an active house?
Very active house. I'm dodging things flying and all the time. Yeah, you gotta be fast.
Absolutely, especially with this young fella.
Yes.
You know, where this is a family affair, a lot of families want to do family-oriented activities for quality time with their kids, their own health and fitness. You know, would you say this is an expensive thing compared to other sports?
Not at all. The school has made it quite affordable for everybody, and they make accommodations and very, very easy to work with. They're about promoting self-body awareness and connected communities, so I found them very easy to work with.
Excellent. Brett, one more for you. Would you say this has done a lot for your father and son team?
Yes, now that he's a little older, we get to practice a little more together.
I joined last May.
Last May?
Yes.
You're already quite advanced. I see you doing weapons and spears, spear form. You like that?
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of Kung Fu? Why do you keep coming back? What drew you to it?
I guess I really like using the forms or not using the forms, using the weapons and learning forms.
So it's quite interesting to you.
Yes. I like the art side of it. I like to learn the techniques of it. And I guess that's really important as well.
Do you feel that you're learning how to defend yourself at a young age?
Yeah.
That makes a difference to you?
Mhm.
Good to hear. What else interests you about Kung Fu?
Maybe other weapons like katanas or a lot of exercises there is about Kung Fu.
So this form is called Whirlwind Spear. It was initially called Whirlwind Bow, but can be transitioned into a spear form. You tend to get this form as early as yellow belt, where bow forms tend to be one of the first weapon forms you get. Her instructor felt that she was advanced enough in her training that he could teach her this is a spear form. Spear forms are a lot of cuts, but also a lot of pokes, where it's used more so for ranged. Yeah, good control of her weapon at the end. Good job.
Community TV. Joining me now is a young Kung Fu practitioner from Kempo Pailam. And how you doing today, young champion?
Good.
What's your name for everybody at home?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Emin.
Isaac. Emin. How are you today?
Good.
Now, how long have you been a Kung Fu practitioner, Isaac?
A few months.
Yeah? Do you like Kung Fu?
Yes.
So you look forward to coming to every class, right?
Yes.
Do you have a lot of fun?
Yes.
What else do you like about Kung Fu? All of your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you like the punching and the kicks?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody takes your lunch money, right?
No.
That's right.
I don't get lunch money very often.
Okay, but nobody takes it from you when they do, right?
No.
That's right. What's your favorite part of Kung Fu? Do you have any patterns you like to do the most?
Playtime.
Playtime? Yeah. Do you practice often at home with your family?
Outside.
Outside? You like to practice outside? Good idea. There you have it, folks. Young practitioner, all enthused. Give me a high five, young fella. You got it. You the man. You the man. You the man. And we'll be back with more Kung Fu.
On Eastland Community TV.
Stay tuned for more.
So this is going to demonstrate our more advanced techniques. You get into a lot more dangerous throws. You have to use a lot more control with your techniques. You're expected to show a lot more aggression at this point. Nice shoulder throw in there. Martial art often includes having your first reaction be the fastest and trying to control your opponent. So this one includes a lot of wrist locks with the throw at the end.
You started young.
Yeah, I'm 18 now, so I started just before I entered elementary school.
Wow, that young. So it's been with you all your life. Is it going to continue to be a big part of your life?
I believe so. I eventually looked to open my own school or start doing clinics. I'm going to Sackville for a chemistry degree in the fall, and hopefully once I get my roots there, I can open my own school and hopefully start passing on the knowledge.
Biggest part of Kung Fu to you? What's it bring to you, biggest part?
Martial arts to me, just as a whole, is all about learning from other people and learning to put the best effort into everything you can, but also to me, on a more literal scale, I think martial arts is, to me, about taking what I know and what I've been taught from my instructors, passing it on to somebody else, so hopefully it'll save them someday. Whenever I have parents come up to me and they ask me about martial arts or sports or any of those sorts of things, I always say I really encourage them to try martial arts because it really forces you to focus on yourself.
So this is Michael doing Phenom 1. Very rigid type of form in our system. Originally a form that you would get at white belt, but was later taken out and given later on in the curriculum. So Nathan's doing Statue of the Crane. In our Kung Fu system, we have animal forms of 5 different animals: crane, panther, tiger, dragon, and snake. So you start to get these right around purple belt, is when you start to actually get into the animal forms in our martial arts. You have to get a bit of a foundation before you begin to get these. Good stances, low stances, hard strikes, being able to use your hips properly. So he's going to need this one for his next belt test. He's also going to be doing this tomorrow at our tournament. So this form is called spinning spear. Being able to hold your spear upright like that takes a lot of wrist strength and coordination. This form was taught in New Hampshire. So each year in New Hampshire, there is a summer camp that had started when our late Grandmaster Bill Gregory was alive. At that summer camp, you get people from all over North America teaching different forms. This form was taught by Gaucher Larry. He is currently the highest ranking, still practicing martial artist in our system in Nova Scotia. He had gone to New Hampshire and taught this form there. And spears a lot of pokes, a lot of slashes. Generally a weapon used to keep an opponent away from you.
I'd say before I started martial arts, I was always interested. I always thought it was neat. More or less, I looked at it as, oh, that's really cool. You can learn how to kick a punch, and that's pretty much it. Now it's there's a lot more to it, and I think it's fantastic.
The application of it too. Like,
yeah,
anybody can kick and punch, but to know you got to move this way to land a punch, or you have to move this way to land a kick, and just getting to know your body and how strong you can be, and technique is huge, and you don't have to be 6'2", 250-pound guy to throw somebody, as Shifu Brenna demonstrated. Yeah, exactly. So it's amazing that way.
This form is called Chinese broadsword. So you begin to learn sword forms with the Chinese broadsword around purple belt. The reason for the movement of the sword is a lot of flashiness. It's a competition weapon. So this form was brought to us from China a few years ago by a student who had been taking our style for quite a long time. Kaiji Kempo Pailum is very much an amalgamation of a lot of different styles. So to take a form like this into our curriculum is a very normal thing to do. So this is a Tai Chi form. You start to do Tai Chi forms at black belt. You want to be able to build on your aggression until black belt, where a self-defense art. It's very important to be able to learn to be aggressive enough and to be able to defend yourself. But once you get to a certain point, they want you to be able to take the time to do things that are good for your health, good for your body. This is very important to our current Grandmaster Verrigan, and was very important to our late Grandmaster Bill Gregory. We have a lot of black belts that are now seniors and want to continue doing martial arts, and they found that this was the best way to continue. It still uses a lot of the same form, a lot of the same stances, a lot of the same movements, but it does it in such a way that it doesn't hurt. The controlled breath is also very important. So this would be the first Tai Chi form that you would get in our system. You tend to get this at your first degree black belt, but you continue to work on it as you go through.
Training, either as an instructor in a martial arts setting or as a teacher in a public school system setting, there's a lot of overlap there in terms of the skills I bring from one and take to the other, 100%. It's never too late to start, and it's never too early to start. I just had a student join. He's 68 years old. His question for me was, am I too old to join? I've got some arthritis and some other pains going on, and I said, absolutely not. We modify curriculum to suit anybody and everybody, whether you have a disability. Most of my kids have some sort of adaptation, such as ADHD or other issues that we have to address and accommodate. But them being a part of my class, it helps them grow, helps really build their confidence, and even though they may not have the upper hand on certain things, they learn to get it. They get that from the class. So if you want confidence, you want to grow, get a bit in shape, come join, come check us out. You're telling a story, whether it's similarly to a written book or a play. When we do our self-defense as part of a form or a weapons form, we're telling a story. It takes a certain bit of artistry to make that happen.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Evolution. We hope you enjoyed our look into the world of Kung Fu. Join us next week as we take a journey into the world of the Korean sword, Haedong Gumdo, right here on Evolution, Eastlink Community TV. Stay tuned for more.